Dropbox, just overall the features for collaboration are probably a little stronger. It's designed again to be a primary cloud storage, and it works really well as that. And you can share things quite easily. It's easy to set up. It's a mobile app. I think Dropbox has put more effort into thinking mobile first, or at least mobile equal, whereas I think Google is more focused on desktop and laptop. Besides the syncing, sometimes the sharing features in Google Drive aren't quite as user-friendly. I think that for all the great things Google does, their Drive is mediocre as far as the amount of effort they've put into making it user-friendly and trying to be able to really give it something that is what people rave about. I don't know anybody raving about Google Drive besides the fact that you can store more stuff there. But Dropbox, I think, still has a lot of fans. In this time now where we're doing a lot of video conferencing, people are starting to figure out there's a difference between trying to video conference things that are stored in Dropbox and things that may be stored in Google Drive. I found that you can actually integrate Dropbox and Zoom much easier, right? So if you're going to want to be sharing documents while on a video conference, Dropbox is much more set up to do that, much easier. It's an idea where you can store things in your Dropbox that you can just pull and quickly share into Zoom. And I would say, if you play around with that, there's a couple great videos out there too. If you're not comfortable doing that on your own without some tutorial, you want someone to walk you through it, just go to YouTube and say, Zoom Dropbox integration or sharing Dropbox files on Zoom. And you'll see a bunch of different experts out there talking about how to do it. On the flip side, Google Drive, I think maybe because Google is part of the G Suite, and because for a long time they had Google Hangouts and they never quite developed the right integration for video conferencing, you can access your files and share them through something like Zoom or Skype, but it's just not as smooth. Again, I think that Google tries to do everything, and therefore they don't necessarily do anything super well, where Dropbox is specialized. So the video conferencing function, if you're looking to share a lot of documents while you're on the cloud and using Zoom, I recommend, again, that Dropbox is probably better. So when it comes to pros and cons of Dropbox, here's really the pros that I set out there. The syncing is better on Dropbox. It syncs better with Zoom, right? It's just slicker as far as the interface, and it's got a better mobile app. I think, of course, the cons of Dropbox are less storage, right? And it doesn't really integrate with anything. As far as like Google Drive, you can integrate it easily into the other Google apps that have on Google Drive. So when you're storing things in the storage part of Google Drive, you can easily move things, into spreadsheets. As far as Google Sheets, you can move things into the Google's version of all the Microsoft Office products pretty simply. And it has that feature. So if you're looking to, like quickly manipulate data or play around with information, and you want to be able to integrate that more, maybe Google Drive is better for you. But again, Dropbox, really the only con I see for most people is the lack of storage or less storage. For Google Drive, of course, the pros are it has a lot more storage, both the free and the paid version. And again, I mentioned a second ago, you can access all the Google apps easily. And it does sync with Google Hangout and Meetup, but it's not necessarily smooth. The cons are that it's not quite easy to share, to collaborate on Google Drive as a Dropbox, and I definitely think it's slower in syncing. So really those are kind of the pros and cons. And so when you're thinking about in your business, when you want to collaborate with people, say for example, you have a virtual assistant, and you have a virtual assistant, or you have a remote employee, and you have one of these people that are working somewhere outside of your physical location, maybe working around the other side of the planet or working different hours. You want to be able to give them all the documents they need to be able to do things like run Facebook ads or post social media posts, or to be able to send out email campaigns, whether you're using like MailChimp, or if you're doing things like using Hootsuite or HubSpot to do multiple postings. You want to think about the best place to store things for people to access them. And as a general rule, I would say Dropbox is probably better for most VAs and virtual staff or people working remotely, as long as it's not really, really big files. then you really have to go with Google Drive, which isn't quite as great with collaboration. It still works, but not quite as strong. So if you're looking for somebody that can work remotely, you want to make sure they understand how to use Dropbox or Google Drive. And if they don't, of course, they can go do a quick tutorial on those sites, or go to YouTube and find an expert and watch that. But if you're looking to hire a VA, I have a team of people that know how to use both tools very well. We use Dropbox and Google Drive extensively for both of our internal business and for our clients. So we can definitely help you get squared away there. If you're interested in getting started with a virtual assistant, you can go to our website, sonicva.com. That's SONICVA, VA for virtual assistant. So sonicva.com, and start, send us a message and tell us what you're looking to be able to outsource. And if you're not sure what you want to have a virtual assistant do, I encourage you to do this exercise. Take out a piece of paper and break it into 3 columns. The column on the far left, you want to write at the top what you want to do. And this is where you write down all the things that you would do in your business if you had unlimited time. What would you do if you could just do whatever you want? What are your dream things to do for your business? In the middle column, I want you to write the header, what you actually do. And then make a list of all the things that you do on a daily or weekly basis to be able to get your business to where you want it to go, to grow or maintain your business. What are you doing? And most importantly, notate how much time it takes you to do these tasks. And then on the column on the far right, you want to write at the top what your VA will do. What do you want to have your virtual assistant do? And of course, what you're going to do here is find things in the middle column, what you're actually doing now, especially ones that are manual, are repetitive, take up a lot of your time, aren't very fun to do. You want to move them to what your VA will do. So you want to figure out what you can offload from yourself, what you can delegate. And that will free up your time that you actually have in your day to work more on your dream or your goal. To figure out what it is that you want to do and you should do, but you don't have time to do, and start working on that yourself. And you can hire a VA for less than $10 an hour, right? So it works out to be, if you want to hire for a package, you can get a couple hours a day for a month for like $500 a month, or you can go hourly for like $8.50 an hour. We have a couple different options if you're thinking about getting a virtual assistant to help run your business. And a big piece of running your business, of course, is going to be using cloud storage. And all of our VAs, again, know how to use both Dropbox and Google Drive. So my final thoughts on Dropbox, it's just smoother, right? It's smoother as far as like synchronization, as far as sharing, as far as being able to collaborate and work together as a team. The apps are more user-friendly design, especially the mobile app. And one of the cool things I like is you can sync things from your phone to your drive on the cloud pretty easily to do. And if you really want to get started with this today, you can also text the word data, DATA, to 26786, and we'll go ahead and get you signed up to have a virtual assistant that uses Dropbox or Google Drive today. My final thought on Google Drive is that it's really better if you have a lot of data, a lot of photos, a lot of images you're saving, videos you're working on, and you want to collaborate those as well as share those, especially if you're having a situation like I have where I create a lot of content. I'm creating content every day, but I'm not really the one that shares that content in social media. I record it or I write it and I store it mainly in Google Drive, and then my team grabs it and they share it. I have a marketing team that handles all that work for me. They're virtual assistants, basically. They access the Google Drive files and they take that content and get it out there. So that's it for my talk today. I hope that helped you figure out, is Dropbox or Google Drive better for you? There are other storage services out there for cloud, but these are the two that probably have the biggest market share. Actually, definitely the biggest market share, and the most common skill sets that are in demand among my virtual assistants are really companies that want them to be able to manage a lot of content they have stored on a cloud somewhere, or they have stored in a physical location and want moved to the cloud. That's one thing that we've done for quite a number of clients, is that they have a bunch of PDFs or PowerPoints or videos that are on their laptop. or on a thumb drive or a flash drive. And we take those and we put them on the cloud in Google Drive, or we put them in Dropbox. And what we really do is organize them, catalog them, give them a naming convention so they're easy to search and find. That's a big thing that I didn't mention that I should wrap up. The last thing here I'll talk about is making sure that your drives, whether they be Google Drives or Dropbox folders and files, that you keep them well organized, that you name things in a way that's easy to find and search, that you have some kind of catalog, almost like a card catalog, that allows you to quickly index things and figure out where you store stuff. And if you have a bunch of stuff that's just kind of scattered, it's a good task for a VA to do, to be able to bring some order to that by giving all your files a naming convention and setting up some kind of index or glossary. We do that for clients all the time. Be happy to do that for you. So again, that's what I have for you today. Hopefully now you know if you should be using Google Drive or Dropbox. I hope whatever you do, you get organized. And if you need help, we're here for you. Thanks a lot and have a great day.